CJ Hicks is a player who could go from getting 0 defensive snaps during his freshman year to playing quality snaps in year 2 as a Buckeye. All he has to do is seize the opportunity right in front of him during spring practice, and it could catapult him into being a Buckeye we see make big plays on the field in 2023.
You are Locked On Buckeyes, your daily podcast on the Ohio State Buckeyes. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, Buckeye fans? Welcome back to another episode of Locked On Buckeyes for the Locked On Podcast Network. I'm your host, Jay Stevens, also the host of the Jay Stevens Podcast. It is a Friday, February 24th in the year 2023, and this episode is brought to us by FanDuel Sportsbook, official sportsbook of Locked On. Make every moment more. Visit FanDuel.com/Locked On today to get started. During this episode, we will discuss who I think would be the perfect cover athlete if there were an NCAA football video game coming out this year. And the Buckeyes were close to beating Penn State last night, but they didn't get the job done. But before we get to any of that, CJ Hicks is one of those players, one of those recruits that once he committed to Ohio State, many Buckeye fans already loved him. Some of you got the chance to see him play football in high school, and you got to see the athlete that he is on full display, and you loved what you saw. Then you grew to love him more as a player and a person once he committed to be a Buckeye at Ohio State. Played some special team snaps in 2022. I don't believe he played any defensive snaps during his freshman year at Ohio State. That's not a knock. That's not a big deal. Ultimately, that's kind of expected, especially when you go to a team that plays a 4-2-5 and you're a freshman in year 1 at the sport you play. It's expected for you to not play any snaps at that time. However, there is an opportunity in front of CJ Hicks to get some playing time in a way that he probably didn't think he would get in spring practice this year with Tommy Eichenberg's injury and Eichenberg not playing in this year's spring game or not really participating in spring practice at all. This gives CJ Hicks a great opportunity to get more reps with the first team when his number is called. And if he capitalizes on this moment, we can see him possibly make big plays for the Buckeyes in 2023. Hicks is a player that I have seen people discuss. Is he more of the jack? Is he more of a hybrid linebacker, more of a linebacker, can play a little strong safety? What kind of role is he? I'm more of a person that loves for the jack to be more of a hybrid linebacker safety role than a hybrid D-end linebacker role. You get more playmaking ability. You get more, it's a different type of skill set. And ultimately, as an opposing quarterback, I would love to have Jack Sawyer in the flat. I would. Like, I'm not here to sugarcoat it. You give me Jack Sawyer in the flat or Hicks in the flat, who would you want to throw the ball to capitalize and make a big play? It's Sawyer in the flat, automatically. But Hicks, if he makes that role, great. But think about this. This is something that my guy Ryan Roberts, one of my favorite NFL draft scouts, said last year about Steel Chambers. Said Steel Chambers can play middle linebacker with this build and how dense his body and his frame is with his makeup. He can play middle linebacker. And so think about this. With Eichenberg not there and you're trying to see who's another linebacker that you can couple with Steel Chambers. Yeah, you got Cody Simon. Yeah, he's going to come in there a little bit. Yeah, you got some other guys. You got Reedy Carrico and other guys that are there that can play that role as well. What if they put Hicks there? And what if CJ Hicks says, look, I'm with the ones. I know I'm not going to start in 2023. I know it's Eichenberg's spot. But what if he plays so well, Jim Knowles realizes it's going to be hard to keep this young man off the field because of how good he is. And then let's just say they're trying to figure out, well, if we want to go to a 3-3-5 look and do more of a jack role, who is that player going to be? And let's just say CJ Hicks plays that role in a phenomenal way. Phenomenally. And let's just say he does it so well that Jim Knowles once again says, He's playing so well, we can't keep him off the field. Think about the opportunity in front of this young man in year 2. Yeah, he's not going to start, but capitalize on a player not being there. It's a captain in Eichenberg. It's probably going to be an all Big Ten player in 2023. Some say he's going to be an All-American, first-team All-American in 2023. That's TBD, to be determined. I believe he can be. If he stays healthy all season, I believe Ike can be an All-Big Ten player in the upcoming season. He is that good. But when it comes to CJ Hicks in year 2, most players don't get this opportunity. They do not. Completely different than the running back room when it seems like that's completely up for grabs. I know how I think the pecking order or the depth chart should go, but ultimately that's a little bit different because Evan Pryor, Dallin Hayden, Mayan Williams, Trevion Henderson, and Chip Trainum. You got 5 guys trying to be RB1 at Ohio State. It's tough. You got a lot of guys vying to be the top 2 spots at Ohio State, but it's pretty much solidified. We all know who that's going to be. But CJ Hicks, if he capitalizes on what's in front of him and the opportunity with Eichenberg not being there, the offseason, that boy been putting in work in the weight room in these offseason workouts, winter workouts. He's been putting in work. He looks like he's healthy. Looks like he's putting on healthy weight and good muscle. Looks like he's going to be looking the part and walking off the bus. He looks like a college linebacker right now. What if he's quick? What if he's fast? What if he's lateral movement is amazing. Great from sideline to sideline in the run game and the passing game as well. And the only thing that he's lacking is experience. That could come sooner than you think. CJ Hicks, capitalize on this opportunity. It could lead to more playing time for you in 2023. Playing time helps players make names for themselves, and making a name for yourself can put you on the cover of NCAA football when it comes out next year. But if there were a video game this year and an Ohio State player was up for the running, what player do you think is worthy of being a cover athlete for a college football video game? I got some thoughts in my head. I will share them next. I will share them next right here on Locked on Buckeyes. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. The midway point of the NBA season is here, and now is the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because new customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's bonus bets back if your first bet doesn't win. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. It's safe, secure, and it's super easy to use. Then you can bet on everything from the money line to point scorers and threes drained. Plus, FanDuel even lets you combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payout with a same-game parlay. So don't miss the chance to get your no-sweat first bet up to $1,000 in bonus bets when you go to FanDuel.com/lockedon. That's FanDuel.com/lockedon to learn more. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Thanks for making Locked on Buckeyes your first listen every day. Make sure you check out our brand new podcast, Locked on College Basketball. Everything you need to know about college basketball can be found in one place. Plus, hear from big-name experts, insiders, coaches, and players. Locked on College Basketball is available on YouTube and wherever you get your fine podcast. I love NCAA football. 14, the last game they made in the series. I still play it. My original copy died, bought a new copy on the Amazon. I'm glad my second copy is still holding up strong because as I looked on the Amazon, you got to pay a whole lot more for a copy now than you had to 5 years ago. When a game came out, it was $60. You're probably spending a good $100 to $125 at least to get a copy of that video game today. And this comes this thought. It's Friday. Let's have fun. Let's feel good on a Feel Good Friday. And let's try to formulate and think about what Buckeye players would be great on a video game as a cover athlete of that game. Basketball, we could do basketball if we want to go like the past the Thad Matta years or Chris Holtmann years, who are the guys that maybe if there were a Big Ten or whatever it might be, who would be in the running or in the conversation to be a cover athlete for that sport. That might be something we do down the road. But when it comes to college football, I have 6 names on my list. Not all 6 guys are cover athletes are worthy to be a cover athlete for a national college football video game. NCAA football via EA Sports is coming out, I do believe, next year. It was supposed to come back this year. They delayed it, coming back next year. We may have some more of these conversations down the road as far as video games, NCAA football, and all that jazz. The first name on my list, Marvin Harrison Jr. I think if there's one guy on the current roster, I'll say that I do believe is someone that is worthy to be on the cover of the game. It's Marvin Harrison Jr. Route Man Marv is out here stunting like his daddy when he's out there on the football field. Even doing things his dad, Marvin Harrison, did not do at Syracuse or did not do for the Indianapolis Colts. This young man is special. Number 18, I'm still marvel at the catch he made on the sidelines against the Indiana Hoosiers. I still marvel at the fact, I think it was against Penn State, he had 10 catches. All 10 catches were for first downs. Didn't score a touchdown in that game, but he was moving the chains, making positive plays when the ball was in his hand. Think about it. There was a legitimate conversation that for the Biletnikoff Award that goes to the best wide receiver in the country, it should have been Marvin Harrison Jr. Many people were upset, including Route Man Marv, when it didn't go to him. When you think about all the receivers in college football, all of them, Route Man Marv is one of the guys that's always going to be in the conversation. If he's not one, he's 2. I think Jalen Hyatt from Tennessee won the award, and I get it. Volunteers, he had a big game against Alabama. I wonder if Route Man Marv had a big game and the Buckeyes won the game against Michigan. I wonder if that would have catapulted Marvin Harrison Jr. into winning the Biletnikoff Award in 2022. But to me, right now, with this cover athlete discussion, the guy on the roster right now, Route Man Marv. Now, I got a guy on defense that's in the running, but he's in the conversation, but he's kind of like in the first cuts. That's it. Maybe second cuts would be nice, but if there's 5, if you got 5 cuts here, you might get past the first wave of cuts. The second wave of cuts, nobody, you were gone. That's Jalen Tuimoloau, just a player, not as consistent as Route Man Marv, but he's a guy on defense. If you think about a guy who will be a recognizable face in college football, or a number that's a recognizable number on that jersey, it's JT Tuimoloau. A couple of the guys that are going to be on the team in 2023. You might say, Jay, what about this guy? I will say, look at his production in 2022. Look at how he played in 2021. You'll quickly understand why I say absolutely no for Trevion Henderson. We're going out the most recent season. Even if you put both those seasons into a snapshot, little assessment of how he played, okay, he got some good play. That's some great play at times, but not good enough to be a cover athlete. No, sorry, Bob. I don't believe that one at all. And so, no for Henderson. I'm a fan of Mayan Williams, but not for no national college football cover. No, not at all. Really, the only guy right now in the first 4 that I mentioned, Marvin Harrison Jr. Now, if you want to open it up to last year and even the year before, 2022, if there was a game coming out this year. Now, this Route Man Marv one, it could be right now a guy who's on the current roster. A guy who played this past year who's not on the roster, CJ Stroud. It's self-explanatory. QB1 at Ohio State, back-to-back Heisman finalist, a guy who played Rose Bowl winner, played phenomenal against Georgia. I mean, 11-2. But you don't have to be a Heisman Trophy winner to be on the cover, but it surely does help you in this conversation. Save Caleb Williams for next season. Yeah, if we're doing a 2024 cover, Caleb Williams, great. Do that thing. Be on that cover. Great. Cool. You're playing in 2023. You can be on the cover in the following. Great. Do it. Cool. Great. Caleb Williams, you get it in 2020. I'm being nice to a guy at USC. Not even the biggest USC fan. Not the biggest Lincoln Riley guy either. But I'll give it to his guy. He won the Heisman. I'll be nice every now and then. Stroud, that dude. Potential top 5 pick in the upcoming NFL draft. Broke records, set records, did phenomenal things with the football. One of the best throwers of the football we saw in college football this past season. CJ Stroud. So we got Marvin Harrison Jr., we got CJ Stroud. And if I want to go back a year, this cat had 15 receptions in 2 different games in 2021. Oh, my goodness. I think he had 15 for 240. Literally, these are the numbers. 15 catches for 240 against Nebraska. I think he had 15 receptions for over 300 yards against Utah in the Rose Bowl. Both games, one of the top 2 receivers was gone. And you know what? That Stroud to Jackson Smith and Jigba connection. Ooh-wee! It was deadly. Deadly, I tell you. 95 receptions in 2021. Over 1,600 receiving yards. I believe he had, I don't know exactly how many touchdowns he had. He had double digits. He had over 10. JSN. If there is a conversation for a guy from 2021 who should be a cover athlete for NCAA football, and he's a Buckeye or a former Buckeye, Jackson Smith and Jigba gets my vote every day of the week, buddy, and twice on Sunday. If I got to rank them, JSN had the better season between the 3 guys that are literally in this conversation between Harrison Jr., Stroud, and Jigba. And Jigba won. I'll say Stroud 2, 2-time Heisman finalist. That means something. And then Rottman Marv. He's number 3. You know what's also going to be nice? Probably seeing Kyle McCord be the starting quarterback so we can see high school teammates do their thing in the shoe and be college teammates as McCord and Harrison Jr. were teammates in high school. You know what's also going to be nice? Well, it's also a little bit wishful thinking now, but it would be nice if the Buckeye basketball team won a basketball game. They play basketball games. And they have lost, 14 or 15 or 15 or 16 at the end of this season. It's been ugly lately. Looked competitive last night. Did not get the job done. We'll discuss what went down last night as the Buckeyes fall to the Penn State Nittany Lions right here on Locked on Buckeyes. This episode is brought to you by Billiards Plus. Billiards Plus has the best selection of pool tables, game tables, shuffleboard tables, and more, and the best service in Central Ohio. Billiards Plus also can set you up with a brand new top-of-the-line grill that will last for generations. We all know how hard it is with the supply chain issues this year and getting certain things shipped on time. So when it comes to ordering that one big gift for someone you love, check out Billiards Plus and get there early this year. Billiards Plus carries the best pool tables from Brunswick, Ohausen, Canada, Billiards, and more. Plus, top-of-the-line grills from PK, Napoleon, Memphis, and Le Griddle. That will be the last grill you own. Seriously, these grills stand the test of time. No matter the season, Billiards Plus has you covered for all your indoor and outdoor entertainment needs. Visit their showroom on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin. Check them out at billiards-plus.com. Billiards Plus, family owned and operated for generations. So I am trying to be optimistic. I understand during yesterday's show, some might say Jay was just being negative. Some of you might say a negative Nancy, or a pessimistic Paul, or whatever type of alliteration you want to use to describe my behavior yesterday when I didn't even realize I was in my head about to give a prediction for the show when I started making that final statement. But I said, I don't see how the Buckeyes win the game against Penn State. And I don't think they'll win another basketball game this season. Those words came out of my mouth numerous times. I will keep saying it. I don't know how this team wins I don't see them winning another basketball game this season. I know how they can. Illinois on Sunday. It's at home. They got Maryland less than a week away at home. You can beat Maryland. You can beat Illinois. It's probably not going to happen. In last night's game, there was a competitive nature to it. There was a game that we saw a competitive fire, competitive juices flowing. We saw Chris Holtmann once again start four freshmen, Roddy Gill Jr., Bruce Thornton, Bryce Sensabaugh, and Felix Okpara. We saw Okpara go 4 for 4 from the field. We saw Sensabaugh lead all Buckeye scores with 20 points in the game. We saw Bruce Thornton as a second leading scorer for the Buckeyes with 19 points in the game. It was a law firm of Bruce and Bryce, and they were putting on a show. But what happened? Jalen Pickett happened. Seth Lundy was making good plays. Once again, hit 4 of his 8 threes that he shot last night. The Buckeyes, 46% shooting from the field, 35% shooting from downtown. Shot too many threes. 5 of them came in the final 20 seconds of the game. We'll discuss what happened there in a little bit. I liked the competitive juices, the competitive nature, the competitive flow. I liked a little bit of the hustle and the heart that we saw from Felix Okpara, knowing he's playing more minutes. His buddy Zed, the starter, is out for the season. Probably going to be a 6-month process for Zed to heal and recover from this shoulder injury that he's having surgery on. And Okpara's hustling, man. If this is the time to start for freshmen, go ahead, Chris Holtmann. Do your thing. Because what we're seeing is these guys playing with a little juice, a little spunk, a little pep in their step. I like it. And I think playing a team like Penn State, not one of the upper echelon teams in the sport, but somebody that Ohio State should beat, and you seeing, you can keep it close. You can even be there in the final minute of the game to win the contest. That is a step in the right direction. Now, it's only a step in the right direction because we have not seen that type of play in quite a long time. The outcome is the same that we have seen for so many games. It's a loss. Not a good look. But I got to give it to him. Felix Okpara played 18 minutes. Would have liked to see him have more than 1 rebound. Justice Suing, not really complaining, just playing ball. 9 points, 10 rebounds, really close to a double-double. Chris Holtmann also tightening up the lineup with an 8-man rotation. Off the bench only came Eugene Brown III, Sean McNeil, and Ice Likely. Likely at 7 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. He is a player that I was high on when he came to Ohio State, and I truly believe if he didn't miss those games due to a serious family matter, this team and this Buckeye team this year would be completely different. And I likely might have found a way to play with Bruce Thornton on the court together. Just they did not have the chance to build that chemistry during games in the Big Ten Conference. But if we get more of the law firm of Bruce and Bryce, or Bryce and Bruce, or whatever you want to call it, little hard to say at times, I like it. And I do think Ohio State can win a game if those two go off. I'm being more optimistic than normal, man, because I gotta be. I'm tired of being negative. That's not in my nature. Your boy likes to be positive. Spew out all the positive juices and have them ooze out of my pores. Your boy wants the positivity that's inside of him to come out of him so other people can see, we can do this. We can get the job done. They can turn this thing around. I want everybody to believe and think positive. We need more positivity in the world. And hopefully I can be a small part of things being more positive in this world. Now, I ain't even mentioned the final score. Buckeyes lost 75-71. I believe it was tied at halftime at 37 apiece. It was close, higher scoring. Zach Seiko got that right. He did say he predicted a higher scoring game. He got that right. But if there was a play or a sequence of plays in a 20-second span that is a great depiction of the Buckeyes in this season, it was the final 20 seconds. My guy, Ben Stevens, former host of Locked On Big Ten, now works for Sports Grid and hosts a daily show over there for them. It was this. 20 seconds to go. Sean McNeil shoots a 3. Misses. 16 seconds to go. Bruce Thornton shoots a 3. Misses. 11 seconds to go. Sean McNeil shoots another 3. misses. 6 seconds to go. Bryce Sensabaugh shoots a three, misses. 1 second to go. Sean McNeil shoots another three, missed the shot. That is 5 missed threes in a 20-second span. Now, you may say, Jay, what was the score at this time? I believe it was the final score of the game, 75-71. Wouldn't have been great for them to go for a 2-for-1, for him to go for a two, get a quick two, make it a 2-point game. Ultimately, inbound the ball. The clock stops once the ball goes through the hoop. Inbound the ball, you foul. Go in, go back, shoot those free throws, and then try it again to either shoot a three or go for two, kind of playing the odds and the averages at this point in time. Yes, that would have been great, but no, they didn't do that. No, they didn't do what they're supposed to do. No, they didn't do what they were coached. They may have been coached to do that. I have no idea, which would have been another mystery about this team in this season. What are they coached to do? I don't know. 5 missed threes in a 20-second span, especially when it's poorly executed and you had a chance to still win the game, but y'all just aren't getting things right. The Buckeyes are back on the basketball court in a couple days against Illinois, the Fighting Illini, 12 noon Eastern on CBS. Oh, boy. I hope it's a win. I don't want my midday Sunday fun day to be interrupted and be spending time watching this basketball team play poor basketball. However, we'll see. I'm going to still try to be positive. Here's the negative coming out. I don't see them beating Illinois, Maryland, Michigan State, or whoever they play in the Big Ten Conference Tournament. This is a bad basketball team. No chemistry, no juice, a little bit of juice, not enough juice, not enough flow, not enough experience, none of that stuff. Minimum of 4 games left, and I see the Buckeyes losing all 4 of them. Guys, we're out of here. We're out of here on a Friday, a feel-good Friday. I hope you're feeling good. I'm feeling good. Got some stuff to get done. Going to have some fun this weekend. With some sports sprinkled in as well. You can follow me on Twitter at jstevens07. You can send all of your emails to jstevens317 at gmail.com. We're out of here on this Friday. We'll be back on Monday discussing more Buckeye football, recapping the weekend, and getting you ready for Ohio State spring practice in 2023.